Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. So for this week's episode, I want to talk about something that is on my mind more than it should be, and that is self-deprecation. And why I want to talk about that is because I seem to do it so often, and I've worked consciously on trying to stop it. And I don't think that enough of us work on that. And I think that the norm is to succumb to negative self-talk, but I need to talk about why we need to address these things, because the power of our belief systems that live within inside of us are so important. If you believe something about yourself, that thing is going to be true. And it's true because you believe it about you. So what we need to do is reframe the way that we think about ourselves. And when we have negative thoughts, take these negative thoughts and turn them to a positive. So for example, a lot of the times I catch myself looking at my arms in pictures, and like we can see my arm here and there's nothing wrong with my arm here, but for some reason I get body dysmorphia and I'll start attacking the way that my arm looks, whether it's pressed up against my body or whatever. And I think that seems to be a normal pain point for a lot of women. And you may be looking at me like, are you insane? There's no reason for you to ever look at your arm and think negative thoughts about your arm, but that's just the mind. The mind doesn't work that way. I think that because of the way that we have been thrust into a world where skinny is highlighted, weight loss is pretty much everywhere you can see these days. I have friends who have done different various forms of the weight loss shots and pills and fast diets. And I'm a millennial. I grew up with the whole heroin chic, super skinny, what was it like? Remember Nicole Richie? Nicole Richie was so tiny, and like all these girls were super tiny and petite, and their little belly flats with their skinny jeans. So it was just kind of thrust in our faces that skinny is in, and anything outside of that is just unhealthy. But that's not true. And what we need to do is, when we're having those negative thoughts about our arms, about our body, about any place, our stomachs, whatever, we need to just reframe it and push gratitude into these pieces of ourselves that allow us to do things that we like to do. So example, again, my arm, I don't like my arm. I don't like the way it looks in this picture. I am so grateful that I have arms, because my arms allow me to live life comfortably to the fullest. I can pick things up. I can create things with them. I can hold my niece with them. I can pet my dogs because I have my arms. I can hold my dogs, all this stuff. So it's just a reframe on how we're thinking about ourselves. And then also getting to the root of why you believe certain things about yourself. Why is it that you think your arm looks bad? What is it that looks bad about your arm? What is bad? What is your arm? Like, it just really break it apart. But truthfully, there's nothing positive coming from negative self-talk, point blank. There's nothing positive that comes from negative self-talk. So why do we do it? And do you remember the movie White Chicks, how that girl who's like really thin, she's in the dressing room, she's trying on jeans, and she's like, Tina, the talking Tommy. Brr. Okay, that girl is probably like 95 pounds soaking wet. But the way she rips herself apart, and the way that White Chicks highlights that as, it's a brilliant scene, because these two men, even the Wayans Bros, recognize the fact that women tear themselves apart. So they really emphasized the way that women can be so negative about themselves when they're beautiful and there's nothing wrong. And it doesn't matter what size you are. It doesn't matter how big or small you are. I think it's just the fact that we're not seeing the body as a vessel that allows us to get from point A to point B. And the body is what allows us to move. The body is what allows us to do things. And instead we look at it as it's like this objectified thing that carries some kind of, there's some kind of like a status with a body. And at the end of the day, like, you come from the dirt, you die and go back into the dirt, and it doesn't matter. But what we should focus on is how we can take care of the vessel that we've been given, in order to help us allow us live the fullest life. So it comes back to that mind, body, soul balance. how do you create balance within yourself to make sure that your body is finely tuned? Your body is a vehicle. You go to the car dealership or wherever and you get your oil changed. It's the same thing with your body. You have to make sure that you're getting your oil changed. You have to make sure that you're rotating your tires. You have to make sure that you're doing things that keep your body afloat. That way it runs long and it's a healthy body. And, you know, not all of us can afford to get their transmission replaced. So you got to take care of your car. You have to take care of your vehicle. And it's also mental too. If you're constantly saying negative things about yourself, you start to believe it. So if I were to sit here and say, I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm going to believe I'm fat. Therefore, I'm going to add fat into my belief system, into my body, because why should I care if I'm already fat? Whatever. So it really is about mental strength. And you have to really use your mental strength when it comes to comparing yourself to other people. Oh, there was this video that came out and it was actually really brilliant. It was, you know, what do you think she's thinking about you? And like this guy goes down the line and he says like, okay, what do you think this person's thinking about you? And this girl stands up there and says, I don't know that I'm like stupid. I don't know that I'm corny. I don't know that I look frumpy. And then he went back to those people that he pointed to and said, what do you think about this girl? And only positive reflections were being made about this female who thought for sure that all of these people are going to be judging her negatively. So what that teaches us is that these lies live within our minds. These lies are belief systems that we create. And it's up to us to look at those lies and call them out. And so ways that you can start to develop self-love and appreciation for your body, no matter what size you are, is looking in the mirror every single day and giving yourself eye contact and telling yourself that you love yourself. Just look right at yourself and say, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Say it 10 times and then repeat that every single day. And then you can also say things like when you have like a pain point, you know, like sometimes my jeans are too tight and I don't like my gut, right? So I'll be like, I love my stomach because it holds the food that nurtures my body. And you have to just, I love my stomach because it's the strength that helps me, you know, stand up tall. And you just have to figure out a way to create positives from these negative spins that you have for so long taught yourself and told yourself and believed about yourself. And I think all women are guilty of this. I don't think that there's no one's at fault for this. I think it's just a society that we live in and comparison is what it is. And I think that as long as we get to a place where we can switch these negatives to a positive and truly understand what the whole point of your physical body is for, because yeah, I mean, there are certain aspects of it that can be attractive, you know, for, a man to find a woman attractive, therefore he can procreate with this woman, right? There's certain things that are needed within a physicality standpoint, but in terms of just like movement and creativity, really those are the reasons why we have these vessels, because they allow us to do things, they allow us to live. So you have to treat these vessels with love. And I also watched this other video where this girl said that what she does is like a micro meditation every single day, and she closes her eyes and she says, all the cells in my body are happy and healthy and full of light. And sometimes she interchanges the word light and love. And I've practiced that as well. But it does change the way you feel in that moment. I encourage everyone to spend a minute or two doing that. But when you treat yourself with love, you get love in return. And that's just a law of attraction, baby. That is just the law of attraction. So you have to treat your body right. There are people out there who may have skin conditions. There are people out there who may not have a certain body part, but it doesn't mean that you're less lovable. It doesn't mean that your body deserves less love. In fact, your body deserves all of the love because you're still functioning, you're still here, you're still doing what you've got to do. And it's not fair to yourself, and you create these injustices within yourself when you treat yourself this way. And it's just not it doesn't make any sense. And it's just not the way to live life fully and with full of love and light for yourself and appreciation for yourself, because the fact that you're standing here, the fact that you're with me today means that you've made it this far in life. And my God, life is so freaking hard. So this is something to be celebrated. Your body should be celebrated. Your birthday suit should be celebrated. Start taking care of it better with your mind, with your thoughts. And once you start thinking better about yourself, you'll see that your body, if you want to work on certain things in terms of weight loss for your health, go for it. But you'll notice when you start communicating to your body kinder, your body will return the favor and it will become healthier in a sense. So for a long time, I had very, very negative thoughts about my body, and during COVID, I put on about 50 pounds during COVID. And listen, I was in this very depressive low, and I had this weird, it was almost like I had foreign body syndrome. I had reverse body dysmorphia where I couldn't recognize that I had put on weight, and I couldn't understand why nothing fit me and why I was like busting out of my pants. And so it took a lot of work to love the new version of me, because it was just an unfamiliar version of me. And also during COVID, I wore like sweatpants constantly. Who doesn't love that? But that helped with my expansion. I'm just at a different place now where, because I speak to myself kindly, certain weight has fluctuated to different parts of my body, and I've been able to lose weight even by not really, truthfully, my diet is relatively clean. I would say I have bad girl nights on the weekend, but like Monday through Friday, I eat relatively clean. And then this is for the last few years, I don't know. It's just, I can see the difference with just the way that my mindset is with my body and how my weight's distributed, and just recognizing that because I've been treating myself with love and kindness over my, wellness journey, things have positively changed. And no, I'm not seeking weight loss because I want to look good in a bathing suit, but that's okay if that's anybody's reason. It doesn't really matter the reason. It's just knowing that you can have a healthy life by communicating with your body with healthy words and having a healthy mindset, and that it's not about weight loss to get so skinny because everybody else looks skinny. If you want to lose weight because you want to lose weight for you, because you know that'll make you healthier, go for it. But don't compare yourself to other people. Don't lose weight because other people are losing weight. Don't join fad diets because other people are joining fad diets. Like, do it because it makes you feel like you're a healthier person, mind, body, and soul. And don't compare yourself to these people on the internet. Someone said something on Instagram the other day, and they were like, I'll have what Hilary Duff is having. Now, Hilary Duff looks incredible, but Hilary Duff is also loaded, so she can afford a private chef, a personal trainer, a nutritionist. She can afford it all. So yeah, I'll have what she's having. Yeah, I'll take $1 million too. That'd be cool. It's just really focusing on what makes you feel the most grounded, the most happy, the most healthy. If you're miserable during a diet, that diet is not for you. If you're miserable having to do some kind of workout, find something that makes you happy, because life is so short. We don't have to torture ourselves. We should love ourselves. Mind, body, and soul. Love yourself. That's my message for today. Work on your words. Treat yourself with kindness, because you are God energy. When I was in Peru, one of the things that we did was some childhood something or another, and we had to look at a picture of ourselves as children. And I'm looking at this preschool version of myself, and one of the questions asked was like, would you say certain negative things to this little girl? And it's like, absolutely not. She was so cute. Would you say something negative to yourself, your 4-year-old self? Would you look at your 4-year-old self and be like, you're not good enough because you're fat? Absolutely not. So why do we do it to ourselves today as adults? Why is that the exception? It should never be the exception. So love yourself, or else love yourself. That's all, folks.